Good afternoon, and welcome to another wonderful Winning Wednesday. It's good to be here. It's good to have you here. I'm going to give it about a minute or so to allow others to join in. So if you're still logging in, come on in, come on in. We will be starting shortly. Just give me a few minutes just to set everything up, and we will be rocking and rolling. A few more minutes, and once Lee joins in or signs in, we will be starting. If not, I think he's still wrapping up another meeting, and if not, I'll be able to start in no time. Just give me a few more minutes, and then we'll be back to starting our show for today. Those of you who are already online, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. We appreciate your time. We don't take your time for granted. So just give me a few more minutes. I'll be ready to start, and we will have another wonderful Wednesday session with you. So just give me a few more minutes and we should be ready to start. Few more minutes and we will be starting our session. Lee is here, but just give us a few more minutes and we will be ready to go.
Welcome, 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 welcome.
All right, welcome to another wonderful Winning Wednesday. It's always a pleasure to be here on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon over here in Virginia. The weather is great. It's not so cold. It's not cold and it's not hot. It's just right. And welcome to another session that we are about to start. And let's welcome Lee in too.
Well, the one thing that I wanted to basically talk about was after we basically have survived 2 winters, right? We had the winter in South Africa and Botswana, and now we are about to embark on another winter here in the United States. I don't know. Are you prepared for cold 3 times in this year?
Well, I don't have a choice. I am going to enjoy the winter. I'm going to choose to enjoy the winter as much as I don't enjoy winter. I'm more of a summer person, but I'm
Uh-huh.
going to choose to enjoy this winter. Let's see how it goes.
That is the perfect positive attitude, right? Knowing that you don't have a choice. It's like, okay, I don't have a choice, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the most of the opportunity that I have in front of me. So I think that that's a positive mindset that you can have, right? Even though winter is coming, you're looking
Mhm.
at it from a positive perspective and saying, "Well, how can I make the most of it?" I could tell you when we were in Africa and we had to bring out those extra blankets, you know, you gotta thank God for blankets. And
Yep.
the water
And your
bottles as
famous water
well.
bottle.
Oh my goodness. What would I actually do without a water bottle if there wasn't one there? Huh. Yes, let's go.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
Exactly.
welcome to the community. And what we want to do today is basically have a live coaching session for any of our audience that may be struggling to figure out, well, what do I do in this particular area? Or what do I do
Hmm.
with this particular area? So, the first thing that we want to do is we want to talk about what you have to have in place in order to establish what business credit is to your business, right? So the first thing that you have to do is you have to go to your state corporation commission, right? So SEC, you go to your state corporation commission, and what you do at the state corporation commission, that's where you register to make sure that your entity is recorded there properly. So what I'm going to do is on my side, I'm going to share what the Virginia State Corporation Commission looks like, right? And
Hmm.
on the Virginia State Corporation Commission, this is where you can do an entity search for the business, or you also can do a search for UCC and any federal loans that might be against out and against that business. But the first thing that you do is you come over here, right, and you put in any entity. I'm sure that there is an entity named Acme, right? You then come here and you see that there are a bunch of different entities which are recorded in the state of Virginia, right? That has your legal entity. The first thing that I would want to say to you as a business owner is you're coming here to confirm that at the very beginning that your entity is named correctly, right? And you are also looking for the fact that your entity has the right address, right? Because all of these things must be the same across all of the different entities that are recording you. So Dun and Bradstreet, Experian Commercial, Equifax Commercial. These are where you're going to be ensuring that the entity has the correct address. The reason why we are stating that and sharing it with you is because we know that if there is one discrepancy between any of those, that's going to draw a red flag to your business and put your business in a position where it will not be fundable. You're going to have to go through extensive underwriting in order to correct that particular issue right there. So, one of the things that we want to do is we want to put you into a fighting position before you ever have to go and fight. And the first thing that you need to do is ensure that your entity is recorded correctly with the state corporation commission, what it is called in Virginia, but also whatever the entity may be inside of your state.
Yeah. And I guess that's the first step really into if you are trying to work on your credit or you're trying to fix your business credit profile. That's the first step, just ensuring that your current state, the current state of your credit is is correct. And that just goes to the bare basics, making sure that all your information that is captured is actually correct and is correct across all the many other platforms. Because sometimes you find that your state corporation information is there, it's correct, and then you look at, for example, you look at your reports, you find that certain information is missing. If you go back or dig a little bit deeper, you may find that information is missing because when you applied or when you open that vendor account, you put in something different,
Mm.
right? So now there is that discrepancy, and you're no longer getting that reported. But what else do would you say a business owner would do as they are working towards fixing that failing business credit profile?
No, if it isn't recorded correctly with the state corporation commission, there is a form that you can complete on your state's website that would allow for you to correct any inaccuracies that are there, right? And usually, at least in Virginia, most of these transactions can be completed online. You don't have to mail anything, etc. Usually it's going to be a free exercise there that you can immediately get that updated if your state isn't, you know, uh using digital resources at this point in time. I'm not going to tell you to move. I could tell you to move and go to a state that's, ahead of the times like Virginia, but definitely what you'll be able to do in that particular instance is to correct that, and that's going to be step number one. So I mentioned that there were going to be three things that we would be talking about today. The second thing that we would want to have you do is to make sure that your entity, once it's been corrected and recorded correctly at the state corporation commission or the entity for your state, the next thing that we want to do is make sure that everything that is there at the state is also there with the IRS, right? So here is the URL that you actually go to when it comes to getting your employee identification number, right? So I'll put this into the chat so that you know where you need to go if you are going to be looking for updating or applying for your state corporation commission. The thing about that is there are certain entities that will actually charge you in order to do this, right? I would say keep your money in your account. That's money that you could actually use to invest in your business. Why pay someone to do something that you could actually do for yourself for free? So what I have already done is I've put that information into the chat, right? And you can come here and you could apply at different levels for your entity. You see right here is where you could apply for your EIN number. I had to change our principal address for our business before, and doing that required for me to submit it, and then uh, it took a little bit of probably a week or two for that information to come back to me. But if you have a principal address change and you need to update that with the IRS, you can come here and you can apply by phone, right? Blah, blah, blah. The one thing that I would caution you against doing is applying for your EIN number with the PO box. Using a PO box is a red flag when it comes to funding sources and whether or not if they're able to look at you as being credible, right? As being credible. So you definitely don't want to use a PO box in trying to apply for your EIN number. This is online, it's available. It takes nearly no time to get it. And I would say your best bet is to leverage a free resource before making or spending any money on doing what we have identified here. I hope that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
Makes sense. Makes
Hmm.
sense. Okay. No, I agree. I think, what did you touch on? You touched on basically going to ensure that for those of you who are operating but don't have that EIN, you go in there and make that application. It's free.
Hmm.
Free 99. So you literally just go to the website and fill out the paperwork. It's not even more than 5 minutes of your time.
Yeah.
That's just how easy it is to get it done. And once
Eh,
you have that, you are one step closer.
You are one step closer on your journey to establishing your entity as a going concern, right?
Mm,
Many of the times we have conversations with different people, even business owners who have been in business for 10, 15 years, and they are struggling with getting this to that level at the same time. So here we are, we're in a position where we are able to provide free resources that will allow
mhm.
them to become much better stewards to their business credit, because if their business is going to be in a position where it could actually scale, they have to have these foundational elements in place, because you cannot really build a big house or a strong house on a weak foundation. So, what we're sharing today is steps and things that they can use to ensure that the foundation for their business is in place and that it is also strong.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better. And like you said, sometimes you find that you had already started your business or were operational.
Mhm.
However, you don't have certain information, whether maybe you didn't register with you didn't register your company, or you just don't have your EIN, you've been just transacting with your social security number. That EIN number is important. You cannot run a business without that. Maybe you are one of those people who didn't register also with the DMB. That's also the fundamentals. We are saying these are the fundamentals. This is the foundation to that flourishing business that will be considered a going concern later on in, because you have done these simple free things that anybody really can do. It's not time consume, it doesn't consume most of your time, and you do it for free. All right, moving ahead. What's
Yeah.
next?
Touching on the next piece of it is, once you have established your entity, you do have your EIN number. These are the two prerequisites that you have to have in place so that you can go and establish your business banking account, right? Now, there are national banks, there are regional banks, and then there are community banks, right? And I would say you would always want to establish a business relationship with a community bank. And I'm going to give a shout out to my BNI sister, Vicky, with BCT Bank, which is a local community bank right here in Virginia. But you can definitely do a Google search or a Chat GPT or similar in order to find a local bank. And there is one reason why I am providing this advice, right? One of the things that Vicky says when she stands up at our BNI event is that she's a banker. She's been a banker for many years, and all of her customers have her direct cell phone number, right? All of her customers have her bank cell phone number. I can almost guarantee you that we have a city bank card. I guarantee you I do not have Jamie Dimon's direct cell phone number. Probably because I'm not that big, right? But even if you were to go to a regional bank, right? The regional bank, yeah, you might be able to get access to the manager for that particular bank. But the reason why you are looking to have a relationship with any bank is because there will be a time where in your business you are looking to gain access to a line of credit or other capital facilities, and you want to have a relationship with the manager at that bank. Hopefully, they are a vice president, senior vice president, and that person is going to do your bidding when it goes before the investment committee for the bank on whether or not if they are going to approve your loan. So I say it's best to go with a local community bank, right? Because you will be able to get access to that individual who's going to be carrying the water for you when you are applying for even a purchasing card or a credit card from that bank. That person is going to have to say, you know what, I've had the conversation. This person is trustworthy. I suggest that you go with this bank. And you don't have that relationship if you're dealing with a national bank.
That's right. And that's one of the other important things that us as small business owners really need as we are growing our businesses. We need to establish relationships with others or with other businesses or other business owners or other professionals out there who we could partner with to enable us or to help us as we grow our businesses. I
Mhm.
think one of the most beautiful things as a small business owner is to walk into your community bank and you hear the manager say, "Good day, Mr. Leroy. I'm happy to see you today. How can I help you?"
How can I
You
help
feel like
you?
you are valued at that place because they don't have to say or call you by name.
Mm,
But when somebody you've had that relationship with them and they're able, when you walk in, they know, "Good morning, Mr. Johnson." You know that even when you come to them at some point with a request,
mhm.
that you are not just a number, you are Mr. Johnson.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. And it gives you that feeling of being like George Jefferson. I don't know, you didn't grow up in this country to know George Jefferson from the Jeffersons, but you can walk out of the bank with your shoulders high knowing that, hey, they know your name and they call you by your surname when you walk into the bank. There's no
Mm.
greater feeling if you want your ego to be massaged just a little bit when you walk into the bank and all of a sudden everybody seems to know your name.
Yeah.
And let's move on to the last one, understanding that we are trying to keep track of time. And
Yes.
this is one of the most foundational pieces that are there. And I have this conversation as I'm speaking to others about building their a strong and solid financial foundation. Is
Mhm.
you have to go and apply for your Dun and Bradstreet number, right? And you have to, and I'm putting that into the chat as well because the reason why I put that into the chat is because there is an expedited service that you can have and going and claiming your Dun and Bradstreet number, right? However, there is a slower process for you to apply for your Dun and Bradstreet number, and this is the URL that you can use, right? Even though, you are applying for your DUNS number and it's with Dun and Bradstreet, many of the other funding sources will ask you for your DUNS number because this is the fourth step in the process of building out a solid foundation for your business. The other URL that is here is this one, right? The difference between this one is that you will get an expedited 8 days or less service, but that service is $229, right? If you were to go with this URL right here, it's going to be free. I would say it takes about 2 weeks in order to have that Dunn's letter appear in your mailbox, but this is definitely going to be a critical step that you take in getting access to credit in the name of your business, where you're only leveraging your EIN number and not leveraging your social security number, right? So I
Yeah.
think we have covered four great topics that anyone who's looking to build out their business credit can actually use in order to get there, right? And I think these are going to be valuable insights that people actually pay for. And here we are, we're sharing that for free.
Exactly. These are, like you said, these are things that if you have any aspirations of ensuring that your business is sound, your business is financially stable and seen as a going concern, these are things that you're going to have to make sure that you do. And we are giving them to you to say, go back. If you are already a business owner, go back and ensure these things are done right and correctly. If you
Mhm.
are thinking of registering a business, there you have the blueprint. Go and make sure that these things are done. You do each one of them and do them correctly, because without these guys, it's very difficult or nearly impossible to walk into any bank and think you can get credit on behalf of your business. As simple as it is, but it can be very complicated along the way if you are thinking you can get credit without having established all these things. These are foundational.
Yeah. And the last thing that I would say is that if you are a business owner, right, but you do not understand what your paydex score is, your IntelliScore Plus is, right, you are
Mhm.
flying blind in doing your business a disservice by applying for credit and not knowing what is there.
It's the same as me as an individual wanting to go and apply for a loan, but I don't know my credit worthiness, which is my credit score. Most people typically, when you ask them their credit score, they know. They know what it encompasses to a certain extent. They know if it's not great, what some of the things that need to be worked on. They have all that information. However, when you talk to a lot of business owners, you will find that there's still a lot of gap in terms of the knowledge that business owners have with regards to what business credit is and how it all works and what it means.
Hmm. No, and the final piece of this is that we want to share with you steps and tools that can be leveraged in order to ensure three things. One, we want your business to survive, right? And once we have helped you to establish a solid foundation for your business, then we know that your business can thrive, right? And if you have a thriving business, you will not become a part of a statistic where a significant number of businesses do not survive past year 5, right? So it's survive, thrive past year 5. So what we're offering is a business credit checkup. You can scan the QR code, and what that allows for you to do is schedule time on my calendar. And when you use this link, the schedule time on my calendar, you're going to get two things. One, we are going to pull your Experian credit report for $99, right? In addition to that, it allows for you to set up on my calendar a 30-minute block where we will review and dive into your Experian credit report, business credit report, so you will know everything that is there, any blemishes, any discrepancies, etc. You will be in the know. Now, I'm a coach, and what I say is once you know something, the next question is, what are you going to do about it? That action is on you to take, but I'm sure that there will be many who will put time on my calendar so that we can get started on knowing what's on your corporate credit profile and going from there. So that's all that I have for today, Eunice. I want to say to all of the others out there, happy wonderful winning Wednesdays. Right. I got that from a buddy of mine in South Africa. He used to say, "Are you winning?" Right? He
Uh-huh.
used to say, "Are you winning?" And I elaborated on it just a little bit to say, wonderful winning Wednesdays. We've made it through the hump day. Hopefully, everyone was able to enjoy their Labor Day. It's official now. School is starting. The day is getting shorter. Yesterday at 8 o'clock, it was already starting to get dark. Right? Enjoy it while it lasts. Make the most of everything. And the last one that I would say today is a gift. And I think you know where I'm going with this, Eunice. That's the reason why they call it the present. So with that one, I'm out. Eunice, anything before we sign off?
Nothing from me. Thank you all for being here. And don't forget to scan in that code if you would like to have a conversation with us to walk you through your own business credit and help you guide you as to what's next. Other than that, thank you for being here and see you again next week on another wonderful Winning Wednesday.
All right. Have a good
Toodles.
one.
Have a good one.